Welcome back, everyone. Irreverentellsworth at your disposal this morning. I believe it is a Saturday morning. I do hope you can hear the rustling of the trees outside. It is a mighty, mighty fine experience indeed. The rustling of the leaves is the manifestation of the wind. It is a force blowing into your life and out again. It is truly a wonderful thing. Writing down here, rustling, such a good thought. I would encourage you to start what I like to call a trophy book, if you will. I always admired people who carried serious books around. Of course, The Never-Ending Story is amazing as it is, but I really liked Indiana Jones. I don't remember it so much in the other ones, but it really stood out to me in the Holy Grail. Was it The Last Crusade? I forget what it was called. And it wasn't even the movie so much, it was the video game, because the video game, in order to find the tomb, the crypt, you had to use your journal. Well, of course, in the computer game, the journal was so cool. All the pages were just so touched, yet tangible. The book was open and inviting. It was the wisdom of the ancients with the will of the youth combined. Dun, dun, dun. So I've always wanted one of these books, one of these, amazing journals. So I started one when I was very young. Even before I knew how to write in cursive, I just have pages and pages of loops and loops and loops, because I knew I wanted to write even before I could write. What does that tell you? So as I've gotten older, what I do is I keep these journals, and these journals are quite a fascinating thing. Oh wow, that is flattering. That is flattering. Ooh. Actually, my father's prescription is much too much for me. So. Whew. Anyway, I started keeping these journals, and these journals were filled with all of these amazing thoughts I had. Not so many of them were grumpy. As I got older, a lot more got grumpy. A lot more got very depressing, very sad, very sad. But even when you go back over your old writing, I do encourage you to really embrace all of the emotions you once had. Because I remember when I was like 13 and 14 and the world was just coming to an end. And I always joke with my mom nowadays. She's 70 and I'm 40, and we always joke around. And we've come to the agreement that unless it's the end of the world, it's not the end of the world. Like everything except the end of the world is not the end of the world. We have to remember this, because everything that comes up is like, oh no, the mailman is here. Hey, it's not the end of the world. We'll ship it out tomorrow. It's that sort of. Oh. Anyway, all of that was to say, is I started keeping these journals, and in the journals I would put all of my emotions, and I'm encouraging you to go back and revisit those emotions as a writer, as a comedy writer, as a speaker, even as an evaluator. I would encourage you to go through and write down your highlights, write down your strong points. I encourage you so much to record every speech that you give, truly every speech, every table topic, every evaluation, every opportunity you get in front of a crowd. I want you to take the time to record it. The reason for that being is that first, you can objectively evaluate how you did. Look at time, count the number of laughs, and see what you actually did, not just what you remember. Our memories are good, but our memories are flawed. Videotape doesn't lie. It's like the lovely line from Clueless when she's like, Polaroids don't lie. It's true. Videotape shows you what actually happened, so I would encourage you greatly to videotape all of your performances. All right, so moving on to Creative socials. Okay, now the reason the reason I brought up creative socials today. Look at that sign, isn't that nice? So nice. The reason I brought up creative socials today is this is a project I've had for a while, and the project is simple. I want to have potlucks with art supplies. I mean that's in a nutshell what it is. It's potluck potluck luncheons with art supplies. And that's essentially what we're doing. And there's this huge movement where people have like painting and wine, or painting with a twist. My friend Pamela does painting with a twist, I believe. Or I really hope I'm mentioning it right. But if you're looking for wine and painting, let me know. My friend Pamela Spreka does that stuff. Hopefully she likes the plug. But creative socials, you only have two elements: be social, be creative. That's it. Growing up, my mom had a lot of luncheons, and I thought, we sat around and talked a lot, and sometimes we might have played games. Maybe even I could see card games. Not really, they were very religious crowd. Cards led to the devil. But what I would say is that imagine how much more lasting that impression would have been if somebody had just sat down with a piece of paper. A fun thing to do is everybody brings an art book. You bring one of these blank art notebooks or what have you. This is a Canson, I believe. Anyway, you bring a drawing pad to a party. Everybody brings one. Yeah, Canson XL. Everybody brings one to the party, and you pass it around with markers, and everybody draws on everybody else's picture. It's like, dude, this is my picture. It's like, yeah, but think about how much more amazing the experience is if you're capturing somebody else's creative input. It's like a potion that everybody's adding to. It's a recipe. Everybody's flavoring. Everybody's seasoning. It's such a wonderful experience. And what happens is that 10, 20 years down the road, you've lost contact with all these people. You run across that picture you drew that day with 12 other friends in a you know what I'm saying? So there we go. So that's the whole point of a creative social. What is a creative social? That is exactly it. It is being social and being creative. It is a potluck with art supplies. There we go. Creative Commons, public use, whatever. My only aspiration for this whole idea is to create a non-profit, church-like organization. Church-like, mind you. I don't know that I want to call it a church. Whew, those glasses are a little tough. Give me such a headache in the ego. Oh, Jesus. So, creative socials is one thing I wanted to talk about, and one thing I'll keep coming back to, because it operates on two very simple ideas, two very simple foundational steps. Be social, be creative. Being creative is something that appeals to us. Because when we create something, when we take essentially raw materials, essentially nothing, and we fashion something in our liking, we become gods. We are, ha ha ha, look at me, I have created this band. Ah, ah. Or better yet, look at me, I have created a shirt with the illustrious April Lynn on the front. I am a god, for I wear what I want. And so, yeah, it feels good. It feels good. So then you're going to get together with other people, and you're all going to have like a God moment. You're like, let's all make t-shirts of April Lynn. And we all become gods. And April Lynn gets free commercial time. Don't forget Mismatch. So, creative social is an ability to collaborate with other friends. Now, speaking of collaboration, and this is great because one of the very important aspects of collaboration, the creative social I always envision as an instantaneous creative element, as a social gathering, potluck with art supplies. But sometimes some of your best collaborators will not be in your same time zone or within 100 miles of you, or really singing the same song, But if you tell them the song you're singing, they might just help you sing it. So for example, I told my mom I was working on a beaded project. And the beaded project, I went to the thrift store, bought a lot of wooden beads, came back, I'm making like this beaded thing, and it's kind of boring. And of course, the shower hook to remind us kids, when you get high, always take a shower, never take a bath. Sorry, public service announcement. You can hate me all you want, but you know it's true. Showers, not baths. Anyway, so I told my mom I was making that little beaded project. And so then I give my mom a stack of clothes to go through to give to charity or whomever she feels is most deserving of them. And then she hands me these two lovely things. I don't know what they are. Maybe they're dress belts or something. I really don't know. But she's like, oh, they have beads at the end. I thought you might enjoy them. I'm like, well, gee, Mom, I actually will enjoy them. Thank you very much. So sometimes your creative social aspect isn't quite what you expect. It's not always in the shape that you think it should manifest. And I think that's a very important lesson in life, because, pardon-moi, s'il vous plaît, so often we get an idea of how our problem should be answered, and we get a feel like, oh, well, this is exactly how this will work, and this is the only way it can work, and it cannot work any other way. Well, the only problem with that is that if you only expect help in one manner, then you are not seeing the help that could be coming in other ways. It's like the age-old joke, there's a man in his house and the floods are coming, and you know his house is slowly being swallowed by the giant flooding river, and he's sitting on top of his roof and he's waving down for help, and then a boat comes by and the boat's like, hey buddy, get on. He's like, no, I'm waiting for God to help me out. I'm waiting for God to help me. He's like, dude, let's go. And he's like, no, I'm waiting for God to save me. He's like, okay. So the boat leaves, and then a little bit later there's a helicopter. A helicopter comes down, and the guy's like, no, I'm waiting for God to help me. Helicopter, leaves and everything, and then a little bit later, another helicopter impossibly comes by, and of course the man's like, no, I'm waiting for God. So then the man drowns. He drowns and goes to heaven. Stretch. When he gets to heaven, he says to God, he's like, God, I don't get it. I knew you were going to help me. And God was like, I did. And he's like, well, I was waiting for help. He's like, well, what about the boat and the two helicopters? Yeah, the boat and the two. Yeah, you like it. Shut up. You like it. It's always good to tell your parishioners to shut up. Oh, yeah. So there's some cool beads. Uh-oh, I dropped the side of it. Anyway. So I'm thinking that even though my mom and I are on massively different wavelengths, at the same time, I told her about my project, and she adopted it into her own realm of influence, which is fantastic when you think about it. And that is the true value of accountability. See, a lot of times people try to sell accountability like, oh, it'll make you do what you want to do. Well, that sounds very appealing. Yes, I'm going to set unrealistic goals for myself because you're watching me and I think you want something from me. So then, I'm then going to enable you to ruin my life to make sure I do them. Ooh, shit, let me sign up for that ass. Let me tell you. Ooh, no thank you. No, accountability is truly that every time you see someone, they go, hey, when is the next time you perform in comedy? And you're like, oh, I'm not doing a lot with comedy. They're like, oh, really? Oh, that's a shame because you're really funny. Oh, right into the gut. So that's the beauty of it, too, is that people are not trying to be rude. They're not even trying to be accountable. They're just being naturally curious. and you have impressed upon them as being talented or something. Whatevs. So then now, what they want is they want more. They want to see what you can do. They want to push you toward greatness. I know. I get the you're not living up to your potential speech like 2 or 3 times a day. I always love that one. That one's fun. You're not doing what we expect of you. It's funny. You get on the internet and you get enough social media going. You get a lot of parents, a lot of adopted parents. What are you doing with your life? I feel like Twisted Sister. A friend of mine called me the other day, and she was like, you know, Sean, I'm kind of worried about you. I was like, oh, well, thanks. I appreciate the worry. She's like, no, I think you're going crazy, like literally crazy. And also, she's someone who adores me, but does not adore my new hairstyle. They don't like it. It's not very fancy, is what they say. Doesn't look like I'm the 19th best speaker in the world, I suppose. Poppycock. Okay, so we've talked about creative socials. We've talked briefly about accountability. So what I would suggest doing is once you've determined that you really want to go down a path, and that path could be something as simple as doing stand-up comedy for the first time, or entering a humorous contest, or being in a theater play. You know, there's the local community theater plays. There's always like churches that are looking for extras, because they never know what they're doing when it comes to theatrical productions. I really hope someday somebody goes, we churches do know what we're doing. I dare say that's a rather offensive thing you've said. But once you've determined that you really want to do something, what I would encourage you to do is tell everybody you know that you really want to do this thing. And the more people you tell, the more people that are going to start coming back and be like, hi, Ellsworth, how's the radio show going? Oh, it's been a month. Oh, do people like listening once a month? No, they like it every week. Oh, yeah. So when's your next one coming out? Yeah, sooner now that you're pressuring me. Oh, great, that's great to hear. So share with people your dreams, and that accountability actually comes into a system of collaborative dreaming, because people will see stuff like a scarf with beads at the end. Remember that Sean is building some bead monstrosity, and that Mom should save it for him. And she did, and it was wonderful. Alright, I think the only thing I've got left is my dreaded update. As you can see, I've got my dreads going again. Not a very nice outfit for the Villa to Waves, and what be the 19th best speaker in the world? What be? I love it. It's got such a great sting to it. Every time somebody says, hey, you know, your hair's shaped. I mean, not for nothing. It looks good on some people, but it don't look good on you. You know what that makes me sound like? It makes me sound like I'm not being referred to as a fatty fatkins no more. People's got all their attention on my hair, and you know, it's not like, oh my god, look at the fat guy with dreads. It's like, oh my god, look at the white guy with dreads. I'm like, oh, just a white guy. I'm not a fat white guy anymore. Because now my head's as fat as the rest of me. I've really grown. The dreads have really grown into my head. So, as you may have noticed, I did post a few photos that were beautifully done. I have a wonderful lady who does some hair here in Baltimore. So if you need a girl who does some hair, let me know. Now, I unfortunately got very nervous and also got very impatient, and I kind of washed out all the hard work she had done. That was my bad. She was like, you should wait a couple weeks before you wash your hair. I was like, I hope a couple weeks is cold for 24 hours. But surprisingly, it was not. So instead, I'm going to go ahead back in about 2 weeks and we'll get all that fixed. We're going to do a different way this time. She was doing a curl, like a curl and wait, and I'm like, I can't wait. I'm very impatient. She's like, I see much unrest in you, my son. I was like, yes, that's true. My hairdresser is also like a Jedi master. Yes, we're gonna back home next time. Because the point is to make your hair as messy as possible. Like I said, it's Felton. It's like controlled bedhead. Like my art teacher said that Monet was just controlled chaos. Like he didn't even connect lines. He just kind of, smacked his brush against the canvas thousands of times until something emerged, and people loved him for it. So that's kind of what this mess is instead of just being one rat's nest of hair, we're making 25 mini rat's nests of hair. I don't know. Anyway, so this is fun, and thanks for joining me again. We tried a blab.im session last night that I kind of had one. It was doing great. Everything was hunky-dory, and then I totally turned it off. Technology. She will learn me, won't she? But check me out on Periscope. And always, we are looking for donations. Send us your money, your seeds of donational faith to the Words of Life ministry here at the Oasis Church in Horse Rescue. But yes, we actually do work with horses, and they're currently being rescued with or without your help, but we sure could use it. But pass it along, wallet and PayPal to the Ellsworth says at gmail.com. Patient B, my friends, patient B.